Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. To someone unfamiliar with shepherding, these sound like tools of correction, but to a sheep, they are symbols of safety. The rod protects from predators, the staff rescues from falls, and guides away from danger. Comfort does not always mean removal. Sometimes it means protection in the midst. Sometimes God does not lift you out immediately, because He is teaching you that you are not defenseless. The staff reaches when footing slips, the rod stands guard in the dark, and the sheep learn something important in the valley. The shepherd is not just gentle, he is strong. Let that settle. The same hands that guide you to rest also guard you in danger. The valley teaches trust. In a way the pasture never can. It teaches that God's presence is not dependent on your surroundings. It teaches that comfort can exist even when answers do not. And slowly, quietly, the valley begins to open. The path rises again. We are not finished yet. Ahead lies a table prepared in unexpected places, oil poured in front of witnesses, a cup that spills over, and a promise that follows you, not just sometimes, but always. The valley does not last forever, but something unexpected happens. Before the journey fully rises again, David does not say the enemies disappear. He does not say, the danger is gone. Instead, he says something surprising. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. A table, not a battlefield, not a hiding place. A table. A table is where people gather. A table is where nourishment is given. A table is where time slows down. And this table is not hidden. It is set in the presence of what threatens. This means peace is not postponed until the conflict ends. It means provision does not wait until everything feels safe. God feeds you while the tension still exists. Pause for a moment. Think of the enemies David may have meant. They were not always people. Sometimes they were fear, sometimes regret, sometimes memory, sometimes uncertainty. Enemies can be anything that tells you you are not safe, not enough, not secure. And yet, the shepherd spreads a table. At a table, you sit, you do not rush, you do not fight. You do not run. You receive. God invites you to sit down even when your heart wants to stay alert. He says, eat, rest. I am watching. You anoint my head with oil. Oil in David's time was a sign of honor, of healing, of being chosen and cared for. Shepherds would anoint sheep to protect them from insects, to soothe wounds, to mark them as belonging. This anointing is gentle. It says, you are not just surviving. You are valued, even after the valley, even with scars. God does not rush past your wounds. He tends to them, and He does so publicly. In the presence of what once threatened you, He reminds you who you are. My cup overflows, not just full, overflowing. This is not barely enough. This is abundance that spills, joy that leaks into the cracks, peace that surprises you, strength you didn't know you had. Overflow happens quietly. Often you don't notice it at first. You just realize one day, I'm still standing. I'm still breathing. I'm still here. An overflowing cup does not mean life has no sorrow. It means sorrow does not have the final measure. Grace exceeds it. Pause a moment. Sit at the table for a moment longer. Let the shepherd serve you. You do not need to defend yourself here. You do not need to prove anything. You are safe enough to receive. But David is not finished. He lifts his eyes beyond this moment, beyond the valley, beyond the table, beyond the present. He speaks now of a promise that does not fade with seasons. After the table, after the oil, after the overflowing cup, David speaks with certainty. Not hope, not wish, confidence. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. Surely, a word of assurance, a word that stands firm, not maybe, not sometimes. Surely, goodness and love are not distant rewards. They are not reserved for perfect days. They follow. The image here is powerful. In the original language, the word follow means to pursue, to chase, to run after. God's goodness does not wait ahead of you. It runs behind you, even when you cannot see it. This means even the days you felt lost, goodness was still close. Even the days you felt unworthy, love did not turn away. Even the days you questioned everything, God was still pursuing you. All the days of my life, not just the joyful ones, not just the faithful ones. All of them. The ordinary days, the exhausting days, the quiet days no one else noticed. Every chapter matters. Sometimes goodness looks obvious, a blessing you can name. Other times it looks subtle, the strength that kept you going. But love does not stop following because the path becomes rough. Pause, let this truth settle. You are not chasing God's goodness. It is chasing you. David ends with a final promise, not about circumstance, but about belonging. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. To dwell means to remain, to stay, to make a home. This is not a visit. This is not temporary. It is forever. The house of the Lord is not just a building. It is the presence of God, the nearness of the shepherd, the safety of being known. This promise reaches beyond this life into eternity, but it also begins now. You dwell with God when you rest in His care, when you trust His leading, when you remain, even when life is uncertain. David began as a shepherd boy watching over sheep in quiet fields. He ends as a soul at rest, confident in where he belongs. Pause, let the psalm echo quietly in your heart. The shepherd, the path, the valley, the table, the promise. There are times when words are meant to be heard again, not because we forgot them, but because we need them to sink deeper. This psalm was never meant to be rushed. It was meant to be walked through slowly, like a familiar path at dusk. The Lord is my shepherd. Pause here. Let the word my rest in your heart, not distant, not generic. Personal. The Lord is my shepherd. Because He is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Not because life is perfect, but because I am cared for. Nothing essential is missing. Nothing important is forgotten. Even now, He makes me lie down in green pastures, not when I earn it, not when I prove myself. He makes me lie down because rest is necessary, because weariness is not weakness. The pasture is soft, the ground is safe. You are allowed to stop here. He leads me beside quiet waters. Still waters. Waters that do not rush you. Waters that do not demand. Just enough to refresh what has grown tired. Let your breathing slow. Inhale gently. Exhale fully. He refreshes my soul, not only my thoughts, not only my body. My soul, the deep place, the hidden place, the place that has carried more than it shows. God is patient here. He guides me along the right path for His name's sake, even when I don't see the whole way, even when I question the direction. The shepherd sees farther than the sheep. Trust grows quietly. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, even though, not because something went wrong, but because valleys exist, and I am not running, I am walking. Step by step, breath by breath, I will fear no evil, not because fear never tries to speak, but because it does not rule me. Fear does not lead this journey, for you are with me. Not ahead only, not behind only. With me. Here. Now. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Protection, guidance, strength that does not need to shout. I am guarded. Even when I cannot see it, remember you are not alone.